Hello, welcome back to Blender Sushi Live Nothing. In this episode, I'm gonna continue with our USDZ exploration. So basically, the idea is to export procedural animation from Blender into something that actually works as an AR using AR Quick Look and USDZ file format. So I have this animation over here. It's just like looks like a bunch of sphere. It's actually a bunch of eyeballs. So this is the result, and you'll see it's animating. And I think at some point it's gonna stop because I think I have some extra frame over here. So we need to be careful with that. A good USDZ or for AR quick look is if the animation is actually looping. So yeah, but anyhow, let's get started. I will be using Blender and animation nodes for this to just make a simple animations. File, save as. So this is gonna be a donut, basic. And I'll have just a torus. The reason I'm using torus is that because torus, when we rotate a torus, it's very clear. And so I will be rotating and move it in 3D. Okay, so use the object transform output, grab our torus, and then just randomly move it. So we need a vector wiggle. So we're gonna wiggle the position of this torus. Plug this into the locations. Okay, and we need a frame number. Plug into the evolution. The speed is a bit slow. It's actually pretty fast once you start. Make it faster, maybe just twice faster. And we need rotations. Rotations, wiggle, Euler. So Euler or Euler, whichever you like to pronounce it. So rotations, 30 degrees is not good enough, maybe 120 or 150 or even actually 180, and then speed 4. So nice kind of rotating and wiggling. It's probably too fast. Anyhow, so that seems pretty good, right? We are ready to export it out. There will be a gotcha, but I'll show it to you anyway. So export as Alembic. Selected object doesn't matter. Save it as donut anim ABC. If we test it in Blender, file new, file import Alembic. We're gonna get just grab our donut animations, import the Alembic, so we still have the animations. This is 250 frames of animations, and this is using the transform cache. Okay, so everything seems pretty good. So let's convert it into USDZ so we can look at it as an AR on iPhone or iPad. So the first thing I will do, XC run USDZ converter. Let's do the donut anim ABC Alembic. And currently we are, I think so far I managed to make the transform animation works, like for translate, scale, and rotations. I'm not sure about bones or joints animations or maybe vertex animation yet, or blend shapes. For now, just transform animations. .usdz, and then make sure we have this VAL as a tag because we want to see the USDA, and we can actually map it. So I just use a color map, simple color map, just my UV. Oh, I made a mistake. It's not X run, it should be XC run. So go all the way. If this is too small. Okay, so indeed, I think it's already converting our objects. And let's look at our donut. We have our donut. It looks like okay, but it seems to be static. So why is it static? Let's look at the USDA very quickly. So our USDA seems to be kind of okay. It states what's the original file is. It's blend, and then there's an end time code. The number seems pretty big. We're gonna fix that later. And this should be 24. But anyhow, it seems to have everything like the mesh data and then some transform animation. And also it has this material definition just for the color. So that seems okay, but why is the animation not working? I actually figured it out that if we put this animation under an empty, so we have these Alembic animations. If we just drag it under empty, this will actually make it so the animation works. It's very strange, but this is a kind of interesting finding. I figured this out actually after I used the animation nodes and instancing, and animation nodes actually create some kind of container or an empty or null, and that makes the animation actually works. So this is gonna, I call this donut anim x export, and so yeah, we still have the animations, and we're gonna do another export for donut anim x export, and believe it or not, this time the animation actually works. There we go. Cool, we got the animation working, and this should work as an AR as well. And but you can see the animation is a bit slow compared to the one in Blender. So we're gonna fix that basically by going into the USDA and just fix this. You see this big number is kind of wrong. It could be a bug, or it's just the way Blender export the Alembic. It's time related, and instead of using the time in second or in frame, I think either one, it needs to be in this number anyway. So I divide it by the frame number, 5976 divided by 24, 249. So I just type in 249 here, and this one 24 for the time codes per second. I'm gonna save this donut anim x with this extra trailing name. I think that's also a little bug, because I'm still using the beta version of this USDZ converter anyway. So we're gonna do another convert xc run USDZ converter donut anim x.usda. This time I'm using the ASCII, and this one USDZ. So it's gonna override it, and then everything's good. And now we should have the animations a lot faster. And this should actually work as an AR. Believe it or not. Maybe I'll send it to my iPhone after this, but it works here. There's a bit of gotcha later on, I'll show you. But so far so good. So we have, this is the eyeballs example. I have an example where this one is using circle. I'm gonna go to the one over here. So this is our donut. I will use, this time I will use multiple donuts. And let's delete this guy. So I already have this set up in animation nodes, so I can just simply load an object, and it's gonna do this kind of procedural animations with 100. Currently I have 100 of donuts. I can export this out, and then you will see the as USDZ. So I'll explain the setup a little bit. It's basically the same. We get object instancer of the donuts, and then I plug this into object transform output. For each donut, I will generate like a random vector wiggle using the total number of the objects, of course. And for the Euler, for the rotations, here I have a loop that generates random rotations. And yeah, everything seems pretty simple. Oh, there's this offset vector, this one to offset the animation, so it's above the ground. So we have this kind of a weird kind of torus rotating. Anyhow, export this out. File, export, Alembic. Actually, I'm gonna go a little bit crazy. I think I'll go like 250 torus. I tried 100 torus and it works, so why not we go a little bit higher? So this is, I just call it many torus. So exporting all the Alembic data. So we're gonna end up with 250 objects, and with our converter, I think we're gonna end up with 250 material as well. So it's a lot of things. Maybe this thing can handle it. Maybe. Many torus, import. So we can see here, here we have our objects. These extra objects, I just gonna delete it. So this seems to work, and we have this nice hierarchy of the torus with the animations, and yeah, so it's good. This is good. We just need to re-export it. File, file, export, Alembic, many torus X, and done. Just export it. So hopefully this 250 objects will export correctly, and for our AR. This might be 250, might be quite a lot. Okay, good. Yeah, this, if we preview it here, can't see anything, but I'll convert it anyway. Many torus X, many torus XA. So Alembic to USDZ. Input files doesn't have, okay, because I save it in the my root folder, I think. Put it here. Rerun it. Converting, hopefully doesn't crash. We get a lot of objects, and it's gonna be like huge. From my testing, basically I want to show you there's maybe a bugs, or maybe it's limitation of USDZ format. You're gonna see that 250 should actually kind of works. Oh, it's still working, I think. Okay, done. Let's look at it. It might. Okay, cool. 250 torus working. But I guarantee you that this doesn't work on the iPhone or on the iPad. Maybe some kind of memory issue. Maybe it's a bug. Currently, it doesn't work well. You can see the speed is a bit slow, though. I have to fix that first. Using the USDA. So again, Sublime Text, drop the USDA here. This is a slightly bigger. The USD itself is not so big. See, it's only around 10 megabytes. So this one divided by 24, 249. This one 24, save. And this should be good now. Many torus X. And let's do this. Convert it. And this should now animate a lot faster. if the conversion is successful. I'm still thinking, okay, cool. There's a USDZ file being created. Okay, cool. So this is running in full speed. So the animations generated using animation nodes. This works fine, but it's not gonna work on the iPhone. So I will have to make a smaller version. Go back to our torus setup and just make like a 10. 10 torus. 10 is a good number. So again, file, export, Alembic. This is a torus 10. Export it out. File new. File import Alembic. Open the torus 10. Delete the one we don't need. So we have this. File, export Alembic torus 10x. Export Alembic and done. And we go back to our USDZ converter here and just replace this with a torus 10. Torus 10 and make sure I have the file. Sorry, this is I figured this out just last night and seems to be, I think this is this should work. So converting 10 animated torus. See, it's automatically generating 10 materials. We can of course just tell it to use just a single material and assign it into every group of the torus. I'll think about that later. Maybe that will fix it. So we have 10 animated torus, animating really, really slowly. So we're gonna fix that as well. Go back to our Sublime. This one, 249. You get the drill. 24. It depends on how many frames you have. Torus 10x. Okay. Showing you the whole process. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show this to our friends at Pixar and our friends at Apple. Maybe they'll look at this video and then they can find out. Okay, there's a bug. So this is 10 torus, and 10 torus should actually work. I'm gonna send it into my iPhone 7 Plus and AirDrop, and I will be using a screen reflector and quickly mirror my iPhone and send it, receive it, iCloud Drive, USDZ, add. Okay, this works. The position of this is a bit strange. Maybe there's a bug also, and then but we can see it's working as AR. That's what's important. Image a bit dark. It looks pretty good, right? I think 100 torus doesn't actually work. If I test it, where's 100 torus? This is 250 torus. Okay, this AirDrop it. iPhone. Still thinking. While it's thinking, I have the one with a, okay, still, it's pretty big. Files, iCloud Drive, add. The USDZ works on Mac. It doesn't work on the iPhone. I tested many times. Maybe it's too big. Yeah, it crashed. So that doesn't work. But I have example here with for example, I tested on 10 eyeballs. There's this, maybe that's also a bug because I couldn't center it. That's also something I need to report. Eyeballs working fine. 10 eyeballs working fine. 30 eyeballs doesn't work. I tested. See, 30 eyeballs will simply crash. I tried it with all kind of 3D objects actually. So this, like, on Mac, it's just gonna work, but on the iPhone and iPad, I think still, so it needs to be fixed. All right, so yeah, that's the whole process basically. If you have like any kind of transform animations, translate, rotate, and scale, you can export as Alembic, and then you just convert it into USDZ. That's pretty easy, that part. Yeah, but if it has too many objects, it's not gonna work as smoothly. I tried this 77 circle. It working here. It's not working on the iPad. It's not a matter of like how complex this object is. Maybe there is a way so that it's kind of using the instancing, but so far, I guess we need to be careful with like with the how complex the objects and how complex and how many animation. There must be some kind of limits. It's not stated yet. But anyhow, that's pretty much it for this video. Hopefully this is useful. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.